everyone. My name's Lauren and I'm an aquarist at Sea Life. Merlin Entertainments has attractions all across the world, and tonight you'll be joining us here at Sea Life, Minnesota in the Mall of America. Well, Sea Life, Minnesota cannot wait to welcome all of you back. In the meantime, we're making magic with Merlin in a variety of virtual ways. This evening, you'll be joining us for an under the water story time where we'll be hanging out with a lot of our fishy friends. In this exhibit behind us are a lot of different reef fish. We have bamboo sharks, we have a lot of different types of angelfish, a lot of different types of tangs, and some of my personal favorites, the Picasso triggerfish, as well as the unicorn tang. And this exhibit is home of Seymour, our green sea turtle. Hopefully they'll join us for our story time. Today we're reading Manatee Magic, the tale of a manatee on his winter migration. It was just another lazy afternoon on the river. The evenings had begun to get cooler and manatees were gathering where warm spring water bubbled up through crevices in the riverbed. They came to these springs every year to keep warm through the winter months. An anhinga bird was sunning itself on a dead log, and there was a sense of peace. Munch, a young manatee, had recently arrived. He'd swum south for the winter, and at 3 years old, it was the first time he made the journey without his mother. He jostled playfully with the other manatees, checking them out with his whiskers, introducing himself to them. The manatees were busy feeding on their favorite aquatic plants, but some of them stopped to play with Munch. They rolled this way and that, performing somersaults while they called and whistled greetings. Happy to be with his new friends, Munch realized he was hungry too. Eating was one of his favorite pastimes, and the underwater plants were yummy. Plop went the water next to him as a red-bellied turtle slid into the river. It came face to face with Munch, but quickly swam away, startled. That little guy is very shy, thought Munch, sorry to have frightened it. Ready for a nap, Munch dozed peacefully, lulled by the gentle current of the river. His tummy felt wonderfully round and full. He didn't notice the snook swim silently by. Suddenly, the peace was shattered by the roar of a boat engine. Munch knew that sound meant danger. His mother had taught him that. Quick, he panicked, I must dive. He hoped the water wasn't too shallow. In the wake of the boat, Munch checked himself out. He was okay. Looking around, he wondered, how are the rest of my friends? Old Hugh Manatee had been hit. The boat's sharp propeller had cut his back. This was nothing new for Hugh. He had a zigzag of scars from boating accidents. Slow speed, the river signs read. Hugh found humanity a mystery. Don't people care? He wondered. In the weeks that followed, Munch kept busy eating, sleeping, and playing with the other manatees. Before long, spring arrived and a sense of excitement filled the air. In the trees above the river, the rosette spoonbill colony was particularly busy with their newly hatched chicks. Every time Munch came up to breathe, he was greeted with a barrage of squawks from above. All the babies seemed to be calling at once, "Feed me, feed me." Munch thought their pink feathers were the prettiest he'd ever seen, but he was very happy to go back under the water where it was quiet and calm. Things had started getting busy under the water too. Some of the manatee cows were getting ready to give birth. They'd been carrying their babies for 13 months, and Munch thought their bellies were looking very large indeed. Baby Minnie was born early one morning and took Munch by surprise. How cute she was! He watched as her mother helped her newborn calf to the surface to breathe, encouraging her with squeaks. He marveled at how quickly Minnie started to drink her mother's milk, hanging out under her flippers. Minnie stayed close to her mother, sometimes swimming on the back or catching a ride on her tail. When she grew tired, she tucked herself under one of her mother's flippers to rest. As Minnie grew bigger, she became more curious. Her small black eyes peered out from behind her mother, watching life go on in her underwater wonderland. At 2 months old, Minnie began to nibble on aquatic plants, though she was still feeding on her mother's milk. She found a patch of wavy weeds and wondered if she'd like the taste. "Stop!" shouted Munch from nearby. He'd spotted some fishing line and a big fish hook in the weeds and was frightened that Minnie would get caught in it. She drew back just in time and was soon safe again by her mother's side. From then on, Minnie and Munch were firm friends. They played together every day, exploring the river. Minnie's mother was never far away. Their favorite game was tag, which they loved to play between the mangrove roots. Hiding in the root systems were hundreds of baby fish. They dart this way and that way to get out of the way. One day, as the two friends surfaced to breathe near the riverbank, they saw a big alligator. They had seen her before, peacefully mingling with the manatees, but today she clearly had something else on her mind. "What is she doing?" wondered Munch and Minnie. They swam closer. On the shore, the alligator's large nest was a mess. "Look!" cried Munch. "Her eggs have hatched!" The new mother was surrounded by her clutch of babies, all grunting with excitement. She grinned. As they watched the new gator family, Minnie and Munch heard a small, bossy voice. "Hey guys, out of my way! I've got to hide so a heron doesn't eat me!" It was one of the baby gators as he scrambled under a nearby water hyacinth. "He's rather small to be so sure of himself," Munch thought. The baby gator continued boastfully. "I'm Giz, and I'm going to grow up to be a big alligator one day." Minnie and Munch laughed. "There's sure a lot of lessons you'll need to learn first," they chorused. His mother seemed to agree. Quick as a flash, she grabbed Giz in her mouth and gently brought him back to their nursery pool. "I guess we'll be seeing you when you're big enough to come out to play, Giz," chuckled Munch as they turned to go. Came a muffled reply. With the warm summer temperatures came change. Some of the manatees had already begun to swim north. Minnie and Munch were having so much fun they hadn't noticed them go. "Will I see you next winter?" Munch asked his young friends. "Yes," she called as she swam after her mother. "We'll be sure to come back again." Munch sighed. It had been the best winter ever, but now he must start a new journey. "I wonder what adventures await me," he thought more cheerfully. He started to swim downstream. "I can't wait to find out." Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's Storytime. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms to check out more Merlin magic. Good night.